19, and the story is Grace. And I apologize, I've been remiss in putting up part 2 of Grace. I admit I made a video and deleted it. It was just trying to be all inclusive, and it was too scattered. Stories progress in complexity, in narration, in a number of characters, in a lot of things, and this is the one right before the dead, and we've been going out of order. So the title of Grace, and it has like 3 meanings at least, but 3 that we're going to concentrate on, and then the Trinity. And I already went over a little bit of the Dante stuff. There's another good article in here I read. And these are old articles from the 50s and 60s. I just real kind of quickly on the first page of the Sisters, the 3 words that follow all the stories are simony, paralysis, and gnomon. And I'm gnomon's a weird word to me, and I thought I kind of knew what it was. The missing blade in a sundial, or missing side of a house, or missing arm of a parallelogram. Things that I'm not going to get into in this video, but that I tried to in the other one. How about the 3 names? These are like obvious things that power. Like he's the most powerful one, the first of the Trinity, you might say. He's God. Then comes Martin Cunningham. Cunning, like he's a talker, he's smooth. They go to him for, he's got secrets, and I guess he's well read, which in this crowd, as we know from the 3rd part of the story, and the second part rather, where they're debating God. And I think, quite honestly, that's where I really got confused a little. Because, okay, they mess up the Latin language in that. Okay, we don't have to get into all that, exactly do that on your own in your book. But it does parallel with the, in the 3rd part, and Father Purdon. Now, his name is a street name that's in Irish Town, the Red Light District, Circe and Ulysses. And it's real close to pardon, isn't it? Purdon and pardon is a mix between the sound pardon. This trestled floor is like a checkered floor that Joyce references before. It's actually the floor of a Golden Dawn temple, and that it's actually King Solomon in the Bible. And so that is the floor that it starts out on. I should have mentioned that in the other video. Cunningham is getting, secrets, meaning extra information from the police. He works for the police, which are primarily Catholic, and they're in Dublin Castle in Dublin. They're also the RIC, they were in Belfast and up north, and Power works for them too. Cunningham is like, Power is higher than Cunningham there. As Cunningham's career and life has went up, Kernan's has went down. I mentioned the floor, that tussocated floor, because there's articles about these characters as being chess pieces moving on the board. Like Perdon would be the bishop moving around. Kernan's kind of like a pawn. I'm not going to get into that here. I tried to in the, So we got the 3 characters, and McCoy would be the 3rd one. So Power, Martin Cunningham, he would be like the 2nd one. And McCoy, the real McCoy, and the 3rd, Holy Ghost. 3 characters appear a lot in Ulysses, and I mentioned that in the previous video. I think I'm going to do another video this weekend. Hey, it says Dubliners 2019. It doesn't say Dubliners March. I'm going to do all the stories, and it shouldn't take too long, probably another month or so. But it's ridiculous to take on Dubliners in a month. You know, all those stories, and it's like trying to take on Ulysses in a month. I like, notice how they spell whiskey 3 times in here without the E. Irish whiskey is always spelled W-H-I-S-K-Y. Yeah, there's a lot to mention in here. You guys know what he's talking about when, but he's an Orangeman. Of course he is, and a damn decent Orangeman. That's, they're talking about Kernan's a Protestant who changed over to being a Catholic when he got married for his wife. It's just easier to do that. Everybody did it. There's very few Protestants in, like, Dublin or up north in Ulster. So we have that back and forth. Orangemen are, they like Britain, and they organize parades in Belfast every year still, and they march through Catholic neighborhoods with, you know, Union Jack and that, dressed in orange and mocking. It used to be bad. I've never been up there. I don't want to digress in there now. Besides saying, see the movie, the Bobby Sands documentary. You can see it free on, I forget when, the app, but what's it called? 66 Days, I think. It's really good. Looks upon looks, light upon light. Well, they got that right. They're talking about Pope Leo VIII. You know, how the infallibility of the pontiffs, you know, anything they said was true, you know, because they come from the direct line of the mouth of God. There's, you know, all that stuff about the candle, and Kernan flips out, I'm not lighting the candle, no candles, you know, what the hell is he? And he talks about the blue lantern business, or that's all, and Mrs. Kernan talks about banshees, and she believes in the banshee as much as the Holy Ghost. It's getting into a little paganism, and it's the blue lantern business. The Catholics were caught in a scandal of trying to prove a miracle back in the 1800s, and they were caught using like blue lights and seance type things, and that's what he's referring to. He doesn't believe in, you know, the critique about Catholics, even from Lutherans, or that they believe in idols, you know, all those saints of, you know, no candles, repeated Mr. Kernan obdurately. I don't even know what that means. That's off. Okay, now they're still gentlemen here, soon to become businessmen. Interesting to note how Joyce seats them, again, is choreography. This story, there's very little movement. It's all in rooms and that. Lavatories with trussecated floors. But he seats them in the third part. They finally find the seats, and Kernan's in the middle in a form of a quincunx. And that's an astrological term, I heard, but it's also Dante again, and the wounds of Christ, 5 wounds in his feet and then his side. Again, the speck of red light they see is repeated again, speck of red light district. They're talking about education, okay, and the Jesuits. I want to make this point too, before I make this stupid joke. You know, Joyce never paid for his education. He couldn't afford it. He had a great education all the way up, like Belvedere, Jesuits, college, University College Dublin there, right on Grafton Street. front of Stevens Green, all Jesuits. He had the best education possible, and he had it free. And it's not due to his father or the Joyces or anything. It's due to the priests. They give him a full ride scholarship. Just you guys notice, none of your modern trumpery, when they're talking about education, what is trumpery? Or did anyone notice that? Trumpery, rubbish, worthlessness, decisive. Isn't that kind of what we have going on in America? Every day, I can't even watch the news. Okay, let's get to 3. Mr. Kernan was feeling a bit nervous in that, but he felt considerably better gradually as he recognized familiar faces. Again, problems with publishing for Joyce. He used real people. Father Perdon gets his little sermon wrong. And it's the no servant can serve 2 masters. A little like parable. Okay, getting toward the end of 3 now. Notice how the gentlemen, they become businesslike and businessmen. Jesus Christ was not a hard taskmaster. He understood our little failings, understood the weaknesses of our poor fallen nature, our poor fallen nature. Understood the temptations of life. And their accounts tallied in every point to say, well, I have verified my accounts, I find all well. 3 times, accounts. And then the third and last mention of the word grace. God's grace. Tying into the money for God's grace, there's a simony. But is it an epiphany? Where's the epiphany? That's why the story really kind of falls a little flat for me. Talking about serving 2 masters, Joyce famously said in 1902, I do not see what good it does to fulminate against the English tyranny while the Roman tyranny occupies the palace of the soul. Ireland serves 2 masters, Britain and then the Roman master, the Catholic Church. What have you done for me lately? To both. So yes, that's grace. And now I am going to do counterparts. And I still have hope that, let's see, 3 or 4 videos by other people are going to appear by this weekend. So I'm holding out for that. I'm hoping a couple women will take on a mother and a boarding house would be nice. Have a little influence. And someone else to do a painful case. And I also recommended a little cloud to somebody who would do a good job. But I'm going to do counterparts. Here's what the text looks like before I get my red and blue and black pens on it. So I'll do what I can do. So I'll see you back for that. And like I said, it doesn't say Dubliners March. It says Dubliners 2019. So I'm going to finish up the stories and that. Not by this weekend, but I'll finish it. It's bad luck to incomplete a song. Remember Maria and Clay? Okay then. Ta-ta.